Hello guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome back to Budget Brew with me, Lotus. Today it's Kethek, the Crucible Goliath. This monstrosity from All Will Be One is a 4/4 for 2 black red. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card with lesser mana value. Put it onto the battlefield, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is a weird card and I love it, so we're going to build a budget brew around this guy. But first, if you like the video, please consider subscribing, it helps out a ton. And join the Discord if you want to talk more or brew with us. And don't forget, Pinfinity have some amazing Phyrexian pins that are AR enhanced, and use Lotus in the cart for 20% off and support the channel. First off, we're going to support with Ramp. Commander Sphere adds colour of any colour, but also can draw us a card. Same with Rakdos Cluestone, Rakdos Locket, and Rakdos Signet just to get that little extra card ramp. Now we need to actually draw some cards. Altar's Reap is 1 and a black. As an additional cost to cast this, we need to sacrifice a creature, but we get to draw 2 cards. Costly Plunder is the same. Deadly Dispute is the same, but we get a treasure. Fatal Grudge is black and a red for a sorcery. We have to sacrifice a non-land permanent, but each opponent chooses a permanent they control that shares a type with that sacrifice permanent and sacrifices it themselves, and we also then get to draw a card. Morbid Curiosity is 1 black. As an additional cost, sacrifice a artifact or creature, draw cards equal to the converted mana cost of the sacrifice permanent. Read the Bones, 2 and a black for a sorcery, scry 2, draw 2, then lose 2 life. Reckoner's Bargain, 1 and a black for an instant. As an additional cost, sacrifice an artifact or creature, we gain life equal to the sacrifice permanent's mana value and draw 2 cards. Sign in Blood, double black for a sorcery, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Now we need to remove those big threats that our opponents are going to be throwing at us. Bedevil for double black red is an instant that can destroy an artifact, a creature or planeswalker. Bone Shards is a single black for a sorcery, doesn't require us to sacrifice a creature or discard a card, but it destroys target creature or planeswalker. Eaten Alive is another single black sorcery. As additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 3 and a black. Exile target creature card or planeswalker. Rakdos Char, black and a red for an instant. Choose one. Exile target player's graveyard, great for graveyard hate. Destroy target artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller, which is great with all the infect and poison running around. And finally, we have Spark Harvest, single black. As additional cost, we sacrifice a creature or play 3 and a black, destroy target creature or planeswalker, and terminate, black and a red, destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. We are sacrificing a lot with these additional costs, but remember, our commander just gets another one out the deck for us in its place. But this is not the real reason we're doing this. The deck is based around theft. We're going to take everyone else's creatures, swing at our opponents, and whatever's left we'll sacrifice for our own benefit. And when we sacrifice at the end of turn to our commander, we get a free creature of our own. So, Act of Treason, 2 and a red. We gain control of target creature, untap it, it gains haste. Besmirch, same again, but except it goads the creature. Bloody Betrayal, again, but we make a blood token, so it's an additional little bit of looting on top of the steal effect. Goat Nap, we can gain control of target creature, untap that creature, it gains haste. If the creature is a goat, it gains +3/+0, which is very odd, but don't forget changelings are also goats. Grab the Reins, 3 and a red for an instant. We can choose one. Until end of turn, gain control of target creature, it gains haste, or sacrifice a creature and Grab the Reins deals damage equal to that creature's power to target creature or player, or Entwine for 2 and a red to do both. Harness by Force, 1 red, sorcery Strive. It costs an additional 2 and a red for each target beyond the first, so we can cast this technically targeting more than one creature. Gain control of any number of creatures until end of turn, untap those creatures, they gain haste. Hijack, 1 red, gain control of target artifact or creature until end of turn, untap it, it gains haste till end of turn. Enthrall to the Pit, 3 and a red, sorcery with Kicker, 2 and a black. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, sacrifice that creature at the beginning of the next end step, so that spell deals with it for us. Involuntary Employment, 3 and a red for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn, and create a treasure token. Carry Zev's Expertise, 1 red for a sorcery, gain control of target creature or vehicle, untap it, it gains haste, and then you may cast a card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. It's pretty rare, but the first line, it could come up, but the first line is more important. Mass Mutiny, 3 red for a sorcery, for each opponent gain control of target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste, until end of turn. Mob Rule, 4 red for a sorcery, bit pricey, but we either choose one of the following. Gain control of all creatures with power 4 or greater to end of turn, untap them, they gain haste, or gain control of all creatures with power 3 or less, so depends on what can win us the game. Portent of Betrayal, 3 and a red. It's a sorcery that gains control of target creature to end of turn, but we also get to scry one. Price of Loyalty, 2 and a red for another steal effect, but if it was spent by if mana was spent to buy a treasure token, the creature gets +2/+0. Shackles of Treachery, 2 and a red for a sorcery, gain control of target creature to end turn, untap it. It gains haste. Whenever this creature deals damage, destroy target equipment attached to it. Especially good if you're playing against anyone that's running equipment decks. Siblings Rivalry, 3 and a red for a sorcery, gain control of target artifact or creature, and then we create a tapped Power Stone. Traitorous Blood, 1 red for a sorcery, gain control of target creature. Treacherous Urge, 4 and a black for an instant. It's expensive, but target opponent reveals his or her hand. You may put a creature card from it into play under your control. That creature has haste, and then we sacrifice it at the end of turn. Word of Seizing, 3 red for an instant with split second. Untap target permanent and gain control of it until end of turn. It gains haste until end of turn. Now we have our sacrifice outlet for stealing all those creatures. We don't want to give them back. Carrion Feeder, we can just sacrifice the creature to put a +1 counter on the Carrion Feeder. Dream Shaper Shaman, 5 and a red for a 5/4. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 2 and a red and sacrifice a non-land permanent. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's another redundant commander. Goblin Bombardment, 1 and a red for an enchantment to sack a creature to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Spawning Pit, 2 mana artifact. Sacrifice a creature to put a charge counter on it. Pay 1, remove 2 charge counters to make a 2/2 spawn creature. Tavern Scoundrel, 1 and a red for a 1/3. Whenever you win a coin flip, create 2 treasure tokens, and for 1 and tap, we sacrifice another permanent to flip the coin. Visceria Seer, single black for a 1/1, just to scry 1 when we sack a creature to it. And Witch's Oven, 1 mana artifact, tap, sack a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens instead. and these food tokens can gain us 3 life just for paying 2 and tapping them. If we don't want to just sacrifice the enemy for small gains, we can weaponize them. Final Strike is 2 black for a sorcery. Choose one of your creatures. Final Strike deals damage to your opponent equal to that creature's power. Then put the creature, then sacrifice it. Basically, it's a fling. And then we have Fling. As an additional cost, sacrifice a creature. It deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. Pyrrhic Blast is another fling, but we get to draw a card off it. And Rite of Consumption, 1 and a black sorcery. As an additional cost, we sacrifice a creature. It deals damage equal to its power to target player, and we gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. And then we have Thud. It's just a single red, sacrifice a creature, deals damage, has the sacrificed creature's power to any target. But with all these creatures dying, we need to capitalise on death triggers. So Blood Artist, seeing as the reprints have been quite abundant, it's come down in price a lot. 1 and a black for an 0/1. When it or another creature dies, target player loses a life and we gain a life. Mayhem Devil, 1 black-red for a 3/3. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. Nightmare Shepherd, 2 black for a 4/4 flying demon. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that is a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1 and it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. So if there's some decent creatures that we're stealing, we can get small copies of them. Pawn of Ulamog, 1 black for a 2/2. When this or another non-token creature you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may put a 0/1 colourless Eldrazi spawn creature token onto the battlefield that has sacrificed this creature to add 1 colourless mana to your mana pool. And Stalking Vengeance, pretty much my favourite in the deck. 5 red for an avatar with haste that's a 5/5. Whenever another creature you control dies, it deals damage equal to its power to target player or planeswalker, doubling up on our flings and all those sort of damage effects. Zulaport Cutthroat, 1 and a black for a 1/1. When this or another creature we control dies, each opponent loses a life and we gain a life. Now we're running our creatures for our commander to trigger, because when we sacrifice a creature, we go get one of a lesser mana value. Captivating Crew is 3 and a red for a 4/3. For 3 and a red, we can gain control of target creature and opponent controls to end of turn. We can only do it as a sorcery, but killing there a creature to get a creature that steals more creatures seems pretty good. Coercive Recruiter, 4 and a red for a Orc Pirate 4/3. When it or another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature until end of turn, it gains haste and becomes a pirate in addition to its other types. Well, Captivating Crew's a pirate, so we could double up on those triggers. Conquering Manticore, 4 red for a 5/5 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. Disciple of Bolas, 3 and a black for a human wizard 2/1. When the Disciple of Bolas enters the battlefield, sacrifice another creature. You gain X life, draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Great for filling up our life and drawing some more cards. Enthralling Victor, 3 and a red for a 3/2 human warrior. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature and opponent controls with power 2 or less until end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. Furbog Flutist, 4 red for a 4/4 giant bard. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature you don't control until the end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste and myriad until the end of turn. Mindclaw Shaman, 4 and a red for a Vishino Shaman 2/2. When Mindclaw Shaman enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from that player's hand without paying its mana cost. We're not stealing creatures, but we're stealing something. Molten Primordial, 5 red for a 6/4 hasting avatar. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste. Puppeteer Clique, 3 black for a flying 3/2 wizard fairy. When it enters the battlefield, put a target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. At the beginning of your next end step, exile it. And this also has persist, so when it dies it comes back again. And Zealous Conscripts, 4 and a red for a human warrior 3/3 with haste. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent, it gains haste until end of turn. The mana base is very light because some of the cards were quite expensive inside the deck, so to keep it under budget, we have basic lands of Akuram Refuge, tap land that gains a life but adds 1 of each colour, or each colour I should say, Bloodfell Caves, same as the Refuge, Cinder Barrens and Rakdos Guildgate. They're not the best lands because they come in tap and don't really do much for you, but to save on the budget, well, this is what we've got. And then we're running 17 mountains and 13 swamps. So as you can see from the deck list, the total, including Commander, except basic lands, comes to $29.68 TCG market price. But what's your thoughts? Would you build this deck? How would you change the deck? Is this deck even fun to play? I'd love to hear your thoughts and if you're going to build something with this commander and how you decided to build it. Otherwise, thanks for listening. Please subscribe. It helps me out a ton as I'm trying to grow the channel. And have a great day.